Welcome to the Second Bloom podcast, where we talk about rediscovering ourselves in our 30s. We're your hosts, Payton and Charlotte.
Welcome back to the Second Bloom podcast. I'm Charlotte, and I'm here with the beautiful Payton. Today, we're going to be talking about our crunchiness as moms and the holistic standards that we have for our lives, in particular as moms, and some of the kind of granola, holistic, crunchy things we do in our day-to-day life, and why.
I think the why is really important.
And it's funny because we were literally just talking about mold in the home and like going to a naturopath and things like that. So it's perfect. But I actually wanted to start and like open the episode today with like, what tea do you have in your mug right now? Like, what tea are you drinking, Payton?
I'm actually drinking a chamomile tea.
Just pure,
that is
straight up. Oh.
Pure chamomile.
Wow. Yeah. She's a purist. I almost never.
What do you got going?
I have nettle, ginger, spearmint. There is chamomile in here. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Lemongrass. I always have like a million things.
Oh, you mix it all together.
It's like, I don't think I ever really just drink tea that's just one herb.
That's probably why I didn't like nettle tea. No one told me that crap tasted seaweed.
I never drink it by itself.
And then not only that, but I like cold infused it in the fridge for 24 hours before I drank it.
Was it like dark green?
It was like black.
No, that's so good for you though. I
know.
You got to drink it. You still have it?
I finished it with a bunch of lemon juice.
Yes, exactly. Lemon juice and honey. But I just put whatever tea that I want to drink. I'll just a lot of times add nettle to it. Because nettle all by itself, she's a strong one. I don't know.
So what are some of the things that you like to do that kind of like is your go-to for your crunchy mom standards in your house?
Well, I would just say to sort of orient for people who don't know me. I'm definitely not, like I said with the tea, I'm not a purist at all. And I'm kind of like, have you heard the term scrunchy? I love this term.
Yes.
I'm definitely a scrunchy mom. Like I am not a purist at all. So it also is always in flux with what's going on in my life and how much energy I have to do certain things. But I definitely lean towards whole foods as much as I can. And in particular for myself, I'm talking right now with my kids' ages, they're not super into that, especially for certain food groups. But when I can, we always have whole fruit and whole vegetables. That's the preference. And then for me, I always feel so much better when I'm eating just whole foods versus processed foods. That's probably the biggest thing for me. And also I'm kind of the same way with body products, bath products and everything. But I'm not one who will just demonize an ingredient because I don't know how to pronounce it. I think that's kind of a tenet that a lot of people live by, which is if I can't pronounce it, I'm not going to use it on my body or I'm not going to eat it. I'll totally be like, what is that? What does that do? And I'll look it up and I'll be like, okay, no, that's fine. That doesn't bother me. Like I'm okay with that. So yeah, I'm definitely somewhere in the middle. What about you? I feel like you're definitely crunchier I know you're crunchier than me.
I am crunchier than you. And it's funny because my hubby made a joke the other morning. I have some calendula flowers infusing and sweet almond oil in the windowsill, like sun infusion. And he looked at me and he was like, what is that? So then I started rambling off and he's just like, oh, I activated the system.
It's your special interest right now. Like, definitely, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's kind of how I don't know, I'm pretty all or nothing when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to things. I'm very black and white, and I don't necessarily need to be. I just am. I get very obsessive over things. But the thing is when I get obsessed over it like that, I don't normally let it go. It
Right.
sticks. If it gets to the point of an obsession, that is a
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
change that I've made or that I will make. Um, but now with that being said, I'm not going to look down my nose at other people that don't live
Right.
like that. It's your own
Right.
personal
Oh, for
choice,
sure.
right?
100%. I'm the least
Uh,
judgmental. I'm like, y'all are doing craft singles and like white bread in a sandwich for lunch every day. That's awesome. You fucking feed those kids and I'm
you,
happy for you. Like I'm
yeah, as
not
long
going to
as they're
judge
fed.
anybody.
Yeah,
I kind of
exactly.
view it more as I view it as like a basket of all these different options that I have, and depending on the energy or the needs of me and my family at a given certain, period of time, I might have more of those crunchy options that I take from the basket and use. And sometimes maybe the only crunchy thing I do all day is like my cup of tea for myself, and that's all we can manage. But some days, you know, yeah, I'm making the fucking goldfish crackers from scratch and all these like super I
I've
know,
done that once, and it's not
I
worth
know, I'm
it,
like,
man.
I'm back to reading
Oh,
the back of the box, and I'm like, you know what? This is not that bad for you. And it comes down to as well certain, as I was referring to earlier, I really don't have a problem with certain ingredients. Like I don't on the face of it have a problem with preservatives, whether it's in my skincare or in my food to an extent. There are definitely certain preservatives that I'm okay with and certain that I'm not. And if and when I can, then I will choose an alternative, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it if my kids eat the regular goldfish crackers versus the homemade or the organic ones. But that being said, I do prefer organic produce because of reasons, which we don't, because then that'll activate my tism if we start talking about organic produce. If we start talking about vegetables.
because of
Oh
your
yeah, we'll
farming
talk about that for
background.
like way too long. Yeah. So I kind of view it as like a basket. I take from it when I can and I try and keep it low key. Like I don't want anything like that. It's very important for me to not be adding stress. And I don't think that as mothers, we need to be doing anything that's adding stress to our lives. Like it's hard enough. So if thinking about like, oh my God, I have to make the homemade fucking fruit leather or else I'm a bad mom. It's like, just buy the fruit leather. You're really going to be okay. Don't add stress to your plate. And maybe on a random Sunday, you suddenly do have the energy, then do the really crunchy option. But don't stress yourself out, please. It's hard enough.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't want anybody to stress themselves out in the lifestyle that they
Mm-hmm.
choose, and I really don't want to stress myself
Mm-hmm.
out. But call it my tism. But once I know
Yeah.
something, I can't unknow it and just do it. I stopped drinking coffee because studies have shown that, yeah, yeah, yeah. The studies
What?
have shown that that is what that is one of the leading causes of mold in your
Of mold.
body.
I actually
The way that
do
they,
know, I
so I
have heard of
can't.
those studies.
How can I drink a cup of coffee
But
knowing that?
what if you bought the like, is it like green coffee or there's like mold free coffee?
I think the only way that I could do it is if I bought the beans and did it myself.
Yeah. Yeah. You can buy like the mold free, really nice coffee beans.
But isn't that fucked up that you have to look for the mold-free
Yeah, it's
label?
gross. That's
Why can't it
disgusting.
all
No,
just
it's
be
absolutely
mold-free?
disgusting.
Free?
I remember like in school learning about like, when I was a kid learning about like the Industrial Revolution, and they were like, "Oh, and this is when they introduced standards for food manufacturing and how much of a percentage of contaminants can be in the food." And I remember thinking like, "Oh, wow, like that's disgusting. I'm so glad that they figured it out 200 years ago." And now as an adult, you're like, no.
They shouldn't have had,
No, but
like,
there's
what?
still the standards that we have today are not as rigorous as I think we would like assume that they are. As
Oh, they're
yeah,
not.
yeah. And then yeah, you learn something like that where just like it's an accepted thing that there's a level of mold in a very commonly consumed product. And you're like, wait, what? We're all just like cool with that? Okay.
Yeah. And then we wonder why we're all sick. And see, that's where my brain circles back to. Once I know these things, how can I do it? And how can I feed it to my family when I know these things are going to make them sick? So yes, I don't want to stress out about putting extra on my plate because, like you said, motherhood is hard. But then I'm either going to stress about doing it or I'm going to stress about feeding them the worst option.
And that's such a good point. It's like, I mean, and you and I are completely different, and everybody's motherhood path that they're walking on is different. So you just have to figure out what works for you,
what feels
family. Right for you, and use your discernment. And but please, like, I don't lose sleep over it. But at the same time, if you're sitting there losing sleep over, oh my gosh, like, I don't think my kids are eating the right thing for their bodies, well, then maybe make an adjustment.
Then make that change. And that's the thing too, like I had a conversation not too long ago with one of my other girlfriends, and we were talking about how the food, or her argument was, well, we ate it as kids. And I was just like, no, we did, yes, but it's not the same.
Girl, I ate plenty of things as a child that I would hope my children don't eat. Like, that's not a good argument.
Yeah. No, and like I wasn't judging her for saying that. I was just kind of like...
That doesn't resonate for you.
That doesn't resonate with me. No. Right? So, I don't know. And then I found this app called Yucca. For any of you that are listening that don't have it and want to kind of have like a crunchy lifestyle, download it.
Is it YUCCA, like the plant?
YUKA.
YUKA. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's a picture of a little carrot. That is what really, really sparked my whole, oh my God, our food is poison and I need to become a granola mom. Because if you met me 2 years ago, I wasn't a granola mom. I was not a granola mom. I was already out of my party era. I was already living this slower lifestyle, embracing motherhood, but I still wasn't granola. I was not granola.
You were doing like what's called the standard American diet, which the acronym is the SAD diet. SAD, it's the SAD diet. It's like...
like, oh, we got some potatoes, meat, and a Caesar salad. Oh, we are perfect.
Oh, girl, that sounds delicious. I would actually...
It is delicious,
smash
but
that
it's
right
not... So, like, I will scan things on that app, and if it tells me that...
That's cool. Like, in the store, you can just pick up...
an item,
whatever you're looking at and scan. Okay.
So you scan the little barcode, and it gives you a rating of how it sits. Either it's good, poor... bad, moderate, and then it explains to you why it is. What's in it that makes it bad? What's in it that makes it poor? Or what's in it that makes it good? So if I come across something and it says bad, or it gets a 0 out of 100 score, I'm going to go in and I'm going to deep dive as to why it's such a low score. And if it tells me that it's just, oh, it's too sugary, or oh, it's too salty, or it's too fatty, I'm still putting it in my cart and I'm still taking it home. But now if I look into it and it tells me that some of the additives in it will disrupt your gut microbiome or cause kidney failure or heart disease, no, I'm putting it back and I'm going to figure out how to make it at home.
See, and I think where I might look at, like, I might look at those sort of red flags, but I'm probably going to be like, okay, but like, how much would I have to consume before I realistically encounter any sort of symptom like that? For example, I, for a very, very long time, like since I was a kid, I was never allowed to have soda as a child, never really drank soda. But I always loved, like, you know, a crisp, cold Coke. And this is not sponsored by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, if you wanted to sponsor us, that would change our lives. Yucca, come on through. Anyways, no, but I like would love to drink a Coke, but I felt so guilty about it. And if I did, like, it was actually in my pregnancies, Coke was one of my biggest cravings, where I was like, I literally just need a cold can of Coke. But I would always like get the real sugar one because I felt like Diet Coke, I was like, oh, the aspartame, and it's like chemicals, and it's like, I don't know what all that stuff is, and it like really freaked me out. Okay, so then, but one day I just got interested. I got curious and I looked up the ingredients of Diet Coke and I looked up the research behind, whether or not these ingredients are safe or toxic. And it was like the amount of Diet Coke that I would have to drink as a human being weighing what I weigh would be like 50,000 cans of Diet Coke a day for a prolonged period of time. Like in order for me to potentially get cancer from it, like, down the road. It was so I was like, okay, you know what? It's just, if I want to have a can of Coke or Diet Coke, like every once in a while, okay, that's actually not worth stressing out about for me. It's not worth losing sleep over. I think the other thing for me is that coincided with cutting out alcohol, where I was like, oh, well, I'm cutting out alcohol. Is it bad to like have a can of soda instead of having a can of beer? Like, what's the trade-off there? Am I doing worse by having a can of Diet Coke, or is it worse to have a can of beer? So anyways, it all comes down to, again, what you feel comfortable with. And if you do use an app like Yucca, which I think is awesome, I'm definitely going to look into that. Yeah, maybe you can use it as a starting point if you have the time and energy and you want to look up the different ingredients. But I think a lot of us don't have the time and energy, and it's just totally valid as well to be like, you know what, that's got a bunch of flagged ingredients and I'm just not going to put that in my basket today.
And you know what? I really hope that I get to the point in this journey that my brain reaches the same level of, it's okay. I can accept this little bit, because holy crap, Charlotte, for somebody who doesn't like doing dishes, I sure have a lot of fucking dishes to do because all I do is make shit from scratch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the dishes are a lot when you're making, even, there's, not right now because I'm under a lot of stress and I have a lot of different things going on in my life, so I haven't been in the habit, but typically I bake a lot. I bake like 2 or 3 times a week minimum, and the dishes are insane. Like, it's a lot.
It's a never
just
ending.
From that much. And then if you're thinking about, baking, like making your kids snacks from scratch, and Lord knows them kids can snack. I don't know how they eat so many snacks.
They have a second stomach for just
It doesn't seem physically possible how many snacks they go through, but so if you're trying to make them the snacks, it's a lot of dishes, a lot of time.
It
and
is.
The expense as well. I think that's the other thing right now is, I'm really grocery shopping on a budget, and I think a lot of people are. Inflation is insane, and yeah, times are tough. So,
you saying that, it was cheaper for me to make everything at home than it was to go and buy it.
That's true. With the snacks, especially. That's true. That's very true.
Like,
I was
if
kind
I
of thinking
don't...
more of like with my baking. Girl, do you know how much a bag of chocolate chips costs now?
Oh, it's disgusting.
I was going to make cookies. This was like a month ago now. And I just said, no, I guess I don't make chocolate chip cookies anymore. We have chipless cookies. It was like $25, $27 for a regular size bag of chocolate chips.
Okay, so you know what you got to do? This is what I did for my
What?
kids, because my kids also love chocolate chip cookies. Mine is my youngest because she has CMPA, which is cow milk protein allergy. So for my older two, they love chocolate chip cookies. I will go to the dollar store and buy a bag of either M&Ms or Smarties, and I use those instead.
Yeah.
So they still get the chocolate on the inside and they get like a little bit of candy on the top. And it was a good compromise for them. And it's literally a couple dollars.
See? That's the mindset that I'm rocking with over here. I'm like, we're going to make the cookies from scratch, but we're going to buy the chocolate from the goddamn dollar store because this shit's expensive.
It is. It's so gross.
I would love to have the like hand ground cacao nibs that were like blessed in a Mayan ceremony, but I'm not that bougie.
No.
We're getting M&Ms from the dollar store, guys, okay?
And you know what?
And it's just whatever works for you.
Your kids are happy. They still get a treat that doesn't have 35,000 ingredients. And, they got a little bit of extra sugar. They will survive. Send them outside to play.
I think that really speaks to the, as mothers, when we're providing food for our kids, it's two things. It's nutrition, but it's also nourishment. And the nourishment comes from the mindset behind it and the choices behind it, and also how we deliver it to our kids. So if you're like literally like acting so wound up and stressed out because you're trying to do all the things, and then you're like giving your kids these beautiful homemade things, but it's like, but mom's really, really stressed out, that's not really as nourishing as if you kind of compromised a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
the food needs to be given and made with love. And if it's just like so much and over the top, which I feel like there's a lot of these kind of like trad wife accounts on TikTok and Instagram and stuff that are very like, they're just going to the nth degree. And
I don't know how they find the time for that. Why do they make a video one a day?
well, it's because I think they have a whole staff behind them. I don't think they're really doing that like on
They
their
got to. I don't think that is
no
doable.
And it's like, just, I hope that no mother out there is just trying to do all of
Hold
that.
themselves to that standard.
No.
Yeah. That thinks that that's the norm.
But I think that's what I've arrived at, is that ultimately it needs to be grounded. It needs to feel grounding for me. Like I, as a mom, I think I used to be a little bit more towards where you are, more of a purist. And then I maybe burnt out a little bit, and I just realized like, oh, it's just as important what the ingredients are as what my mindset is and my mood and my feeling when I'm making it and giving it to my kids is going to nourish them just as much as, I mean, to a limit. I'm not
that's
talking about
totally
feeding
fair.
them like absolute garbage, guys, but yeah.
But having that pack of fruit gushers every once in a while isn't going to kill them. I do get that. I cave and buy my kid. What was that?
I just hate gushers. I think they're foul, but you like what you like.
Yeah.
What's
I
my like
cave.
guilty pleasure of a candy? I'm not much of a candy girl.
I'm a candy girl. I love those new nerds.
Well, I just tried those like I tried those nerds like gummy. The ones where
Cluster.
it's like
Those
a
are my
gummy in the
favorite.
middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are pretty bang. Oh, the big sour Skittles. They make those like gummy sour Skittles now. I had those when I was pregnant with my last baby, and I was like, you know what? These are pretty
I couldn't eat
awesome.
anything when I was pregnant with my last baby. It was watermelon and rice, and that didn't even stay down.
That is horrific. That is not a good combo. Imagine your bowels. I don't imagine. Reader, listener, don't do
Oh,
that.
Charlotte.
Don't do that.
Oh my God. Mm.
I was actually just talking about this earlier today, how like for some women, pregnancy is this like beautiful
Yeah, they love it. They glow.
experience. And they're like, I miss being pregnant. I was like, when I was pregnant 4 times, guys. And every single time I transformed into a shell of myself. Like I was a husk of a human being. Like it was
Same.
not good. It was
I
not a
would
fun
not
time.
wish pregnancy on my worst enemy,
I would
especially
go
mine.
through because I had 4 unmedicated, like natural births or whatever, deliveries. I would
Nice.
rather do that 100 times than go through like another 24 hours of second trimester, or actually any of the trimesters. And people are saying, well, anyways, we should have a whole
We should.
episode on our
Pregnancies.
pregnancies. Because there's a lot too with kind of the same stuff we're talking about here. But let's get into like a few more of the nitty gritty on holistic and crunchy things that we do include in our lives. You want to speak to that? Like, what are some of your favorite crunchy mom things that you do day to day?
So, like I said, I kind of went overboard and I really dived in head first. Anybody who knows me personally tells me that I'm a hippie now and that I'm a little radical in my thinking.
You are. You're a kitchen witch.
Yeah. I will wear that badge of honor.
I think of
proudly.
myself as a garden witch. I'm like a green witch, and you're the kitchen witch.
We will always work well together.
Yes.
So anyways, what really sparked this whole thing for me was having the CMPA allergy, me having to start to read, and I nursed her. I was I will die on the hill that I need to breastfeed my babies.
Yeah.
And that's just something that works well for me. So I had so many people tell me that this is going to be too hard for you to cut out milk and soy out of your diet. You just got to switch it to formula. And I was like, no, that's my one thing that I love about my babies is that closeness that you get from nursing, right? So I really went and deep dived and started looking through my entire pantry and my fridge. And by the time I pulled everything out and looked at the boxes, the packaging, the containers, there wasn't more than 5 things in my entire home that didn't have milk or soy in it.
Yeah, it's
and most of the
shocking.
things, most of the things didn't even need it to me. Like, why? I could make that at home without it. So then that's when I started really looking into it. And then I can't remember who told me to look at the Yucca app, but somebody got me on that. And then that spiraled from there. And then my hubby ended up having a bunch of digestive issues. And he was really, really sick for a really long time. I watched him like deteriorate in front of me. So then we got down to the IBS. So one of the things for him was fermented foods would help. So I started fermenting foods. And then I started to look into how your gut-brain axis connects to each other and how they go hand in hand. So I was like, okay, so I need to heal my gut because I'm an espresso depresso girly. Like, I really am.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so how can I fix that connection? So
because most of the serotonin in your body is produced in the gut.
It's produced in your gut. If you don't have a good immune system,
you're toast,
it lives in your gut. Yeah. Everything lives in your gut. So one of the main staples that you'll find in my home are fermentation projects. I'm constantly trying to make sodas. I've attempted to do a couple ginger bugs. That one's a little too high maintenance for me. And I end up killing it. So I will do right now I have my favorite go-to is fermented carrots. Yeah. I just did my first batch of sauerkraut, and I've never had homemade sauerkraut like that, and it is to die for. It's nothing like the stores.
Sauerkraut is it's probably my top 5 favorite foods. I just keep a big jar of sauerkraut in my fridge, and no matter what I'm eating, I'll just grab a couple forkfuls and just have that. And I like to have it at the very end of my meal, also because I find it really helps with feeling sated and feeling like that's the end of the meal. I don't need anything else after that. It just, the sourness, the tartness, it's just really satisfying. I love it. In your sauerkraut, did you just keep it straight up cabbage?
My first ferment, I wanted to do just straight up cabbage. That book that you bought me for my birthday, that was the foraging one. I can't remember exactly what it's called. Anyways, love that book.
It's called the Boreal Herbal, because we live in the boreal forest up here. So it's just a regional plant encyclopedia for medicinal and edible herbs.
In there, they talked about juniper. Did you know that juniper combats all of the gas that you can get from food? I didn't know that.
Yeah, juniper is amazing.
So I'm going to add juniper to the next one I do. And then I also want to do some another one that's garlic and turmeric and ginger to really help with your immune system.
Ooh. Nice.
So yeah, I don't know. I think I kind of rambled off with the fermentation because
No, but sauerkraut with juniper, that's what I was going to suggest because that's my absolute favorite. Favorite is just straight up I don't love it with carrots in there because the carrots make it too sweet for me, but cabbage and juniper sauerkraut is
to die for.
The holy grail of fermented foods for me. That or kombucha. Kombucha is my other top favorite fermented food.
I really want you to teach me how to make kombucha.
Yeah, we can do that.
Another one that I want to get into is water kefir grains, because
it's such a mystery to me. I don't know. I've never drank it in my life. I've never seen it. I hear people talk about it, and for some reason it's this black void of I'm I don't know what that is. I think it's because I'm already I love kombucha. I got my kombucha. I don't need to know. Y'all do that. I'm good. I don't know. What does it taste like?
Never tried it.
Oh, you haven't had it? I thought you'd had it. Okay.
The whole reason that I'm drawn to it is because the bacteria that is present in the water kefir directly helps your immune system in your gut.
Yeah.
So when you drink
That's
it, it
good.
helps your immunity.
That's a benefit.
Yeah, so I'll give it a go.
Yeah. It's so funny because sometimes I get like randomly resistant to things, and then I'll literally like, whether it's like a book or a movie or something, and I'll just be like, I'm just not going to watch that or whatever. Like I still haven't watched Oppenheimer, for example. And I'm like, I
What's
know it's like a
Oppenheimer?
critic. Girl. Okay, well, we should watch it together.
Okay.
But yeah, sometimes I just get resistant to things, and then I ultimately like try it out, and I'm like, wow, that's great. Why did I take so long? It's probably going to be the same with, is it kefir? Kefir? How do you
Maybe
say
it is kefir. I don't know.
I literally don't even know, but.
But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of like the standard for my home is
Yep,
the fermented
foods.
I can't get anybody else in my house to eat it, but I do.
And you also have the like personal care products and things
Yeah,
like that. Like
I was gonna touch
skincare
on that too. Yeah.
mm-hmm,
I started making like all my own skincare. I'll do like the wet body
mm-hmm,
butter. I'll do hard bars of soap for your body or hands. I made a calendula salve. That's pretty cool. It worked way better on my daughter's eczema than the prescription
mm-hmm,
cream that they were given. And what I
mm-hmm.
love about this is, okay, so my older two kids look at me like I'm cracked. It's taking a while for them to come to terms with this is their mom now.
But they're also that age where like no matter what you do, they're gonna roll their eyes and be like, oh, okay, mom.
Yeah, no, exactly. Where like my youngest, this is all she's ever gonna know,
Mm-hmm.
right? So she gets to have a little bit of a different childhood than the other two did. But like when I grab that tin of the calendula salve that I made, we've used it so often that she will reach for it. She puts her hands in and she puts it on her body. Like she knows where it goes.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
And she'll like take my bar of soap out of the shower when she's having a bath and she'll smell it and she'll be like, and then she tries to rub it on her body.
It smells so good.
Yeah. I've really enjoyed this part of my life. Like really enjoyed like exploring the holistic, how like every tool we need for our body, whether it's topically or internally, we will find in nature. What gives it a bad name is when people don't, what's the word I'm looking for? When they don't research it enough and just go with the first thing instead of really finding the herb that's going to get to the root cause instead of picking one that's a blanket for your symptoms.
And I think the other thing is like it is so holistic, and because these are things that are not, most of the time, we're not talking about like highly concentrated amounts of these different active compounds and things that are found in the different herbs or ingredients. It's most of the time it's not going to be one herb that you see an effect from. It's going to be this holistic combination of things, and that can be a lot harder to figure out than to just go get a prescription for a pill, and that's okay too. Like sometimes, again, I'd say just have the tools in your basket and choose the ones that work for you in whatever phase of life you're in.
No, exactly. Another thing too that people don't understand with like the herbal aspect of things is it's not going to work as fast as a pill does. It needs to get built up in your system. You need to take it for a longer period before you start to see results, because it's not chemically modified.
It's not highly concentrated.
Yeah, highly concentrated. That's the word I'm looking for. But yeah, like you said.
Or isolated, the way that Western medicine will be.
Yeah, but like you said, there's no judgment on people who don't do that. And there's no judgment on people that will choose the pharmaceuticals over herbalism. Like you said, you just need to pick the tools in your basket and go with what's right for you.
Speaking of that book, though, The Boreal Herbal, it's so incredible. My favorite herb, I have to start saying herb like a proper Canadian, because I growing up in Texas, we say herb, but y'all say herb, and it sounds like so proper. But I learned about yarrow from that book, and it grows everywhere in my yard now. And it's incredible. It can stop bleeding very quickly if you crush it. And so, since learning that a few years ago, there's been multiple times where there was one time where in the town I was living up in Northwest Territories, somebody in the village, like their dogs got in a fight, and one of the dogs had a really badly ripped ear, and we just like packed it with yarrow, and it like immediately stopped the bleeding. And I was like, oh, it works. Like, that's magic. That's so cool. And then ever since then, it's even like, it is where I'm showing my kids, like, look, you see this little feathery plant growing out of the ground. If you have a cut, it'll help stop the bleeding. And, my little 6-year-old last summer, she was out there like grabbing the yarrow out of the yard and putting it in her little scrape that she got, and plantain as well, so it's just, it is really gratifying. And it comes back to like, that feels really grounding. It feels nourishing, and it gives me a sense of joy and accomplishment as a mom, where I feel like I don't get that same sense of accomplishment from grabbing a tube of ointment from the drugstore. I just don't.
No, exactly.
So it's healing in multiple ways. There's the physical aspect, but there's also this sort of spiritual aspect to that. It does make an impact on how I mother. And I hope it makes an impact on my kids. They're going to grow up and be like, what? I don't remember any of that.
I think,
well, we'll see. Time will
I
tell.
think that if you reach for that more often than you do the ointment, or more often than you do the Band-Aid, it will stick. I'm just really excited for my youngest to grow up and have that, because my older two have already grown. Really. Well, they haven't already grown, but they
they're out of the formative years.
They are out of the formative years. So now anything else I try and implement, or lifestyle changes, it's got a lot more pushback.
Yeah, it feels foreign
to
them.
Yeah, it is. It'd be like me packing up and moving to a foreign country. It's so opposite for what they know.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're like, okay. Yeah. I've coaxed them into trying some of my fermented food, and it doesn't make it past the gate. It comes right back out.
They'll get there, though. I think they'll get there. And what do they say? They say it takes like 10 exposures to a new food for like the average child before they'll try it.
One thing that I've been using with them is the yet. Oh, I can't do this. And I'll say, well, you can't do it yet. I don't like this.
Love it.
You don't like it yet. Right?
Mm-hmm.
In hopes that it tries to like rewire the way they look at it. Mm-hmm. There's lots of crap that I eat today that I would have never have eaten 5 years ago.
It's so funny because like I was so on the opposite trajectory, where like if I look at where I was 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, I was way, way, way more purist and like possibly to the extreme. When I lived in Austin, I was fully plastic free. Like I did not, like none of my grocery shopping, if it had plastic packaging, I didn't buy it. Nothing in my bathroom came with plastic. Like I was quite extreme with all of that. And so then to look at like how I shop now, in Austin, all my vegetables pretty much either I grew them or somebody I knew grew them locally. And now I'm like buying produce from everywhere.
Where you were in Austin is where I am now.
Exactly. We've like kind of crossed. And I'll probably bounce back. Like I said, like there's a lot of external stressors happening right now that are making me not be able to reach for those options as much, and I'm letting myself be okay with that. And I still have my ideals and I still have my preferences, but ultimately I have to prioritize being a good parent, a good mom, which means like being emotionally okay. So I can't be beating myself up about what my grocery cart looks like, because ultimately, like, yeah, they're still fed, they're still happy. And as long as I'm delivering that food to them with love and calmness, then that's the most important thing, really, for them.
Making sure that everything is secure.
Yeah.
Did you try to make anything with Gladys?
I meant to take her out last night and feed her. I forgot. What was going on last night? I feel like, oh my gosh. Well, I had a whole debacle with, I yesterday had, actually your brother dropped off all that wood for me when we were in the middle
Yeah.
of the blizzard in like December. Dropped off like 5 whole entire trees in my front yard to help heat my house. And some of them were buried under snow for like the rest of the winter, and I couldn't get them unburied. And the snow finally melted. Hooray. Like last day of April, I could finally get those logs out. So yesterday I spent like 3 hours chopping wood and just stacking logs out by my like backyard fire pit. Cause obviously we're not really in like, I don't need to be making a fire in my house anymore. So I was exhausted and I ordered dinner for myself. I was so excited. I was like, I'm going to treat myself to a burger, ordered food delivery, which is rare. And of course it like did not go according to plan. I got the complete wrong order.
I've seen that on Facebook.
It was a fucking disaster. It ultimately got sorted out, but I didn't end up eating dinner till like 10:30
because
of that. So that is why Gladys did not get fed yesterday. I did not start the sourdough starter, but I'm gonna, after we stop talking tonight, I'm going to pull the sourdough starter out. Gladys, I'm gonna feed her, and she can go all night. It's been pretty warm. Now with how warm my kitchen is, she might be ready to make dough in the morning.
I'll play with it and see. I've been saving all of my discard because I like my discard recipes, and I haven't been doing anything with my discard. And my discard is,
oh my gosh,
you
must have a
wildly out of control. Wildly out of control.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
When I very first started doing sourdough, I didn't realize that you could like just
what were you
throw
doing
it
with
away.
it?
And I also didn't realize that you don't need to keep a big amount of starter to start like a loaf of bread. So I had like a big old jar of sourdough starter, and then I was like just feeding it. So I was like doubling it every day and then keeping all the discard. I had like so much discard, and I was like, what? How do people do this? Like, I need a whole nother fridge to store all this. And then I like, went on like a forum online, and someone was like, just, you can throw it away. It's really okay. And I was like, oh,
that makes more sense.
That changed the game for me. It really changed the game for me. It was taking over my fridge. What is your favorite discard recipe right now? What do you like to do with it?
Carrot muffins.
Yeah. Love that.
And little pizza bites.
Yum. I
take a mini muffin tin.
Oh, cute.
And I just drop the sourdough in there.
Just the sourdough starter.
And and I put a little bit of garlic and some Italian seasoning on it. Obviously, you need to grease the little muffin tins.
Yeah.
Drop the discard in there, cook it for about 8 minutes, take it out, put your toppings on, cook it for another maybe 4 or 5, pull them out, and it's done. It's like little mini pizza bagels or little pizza bites.
Cute. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's quick and easy snacks for the kids. Okay. And that's why I keep the sourdough discard. But over the last couple days, I have not had the gas in the tank to do anything with it. So it's gotten out of control.
But that's the cool thing about fermented foods is they're really so much more flexible and forgiving than it seems when you're first getting into it.
Oh, yeah. When I first started getting into building my sourdough starter, I obsessed over that.
It's the same with kombucha or pickles or sauerkraut, like all of them. I think it can be really intimidating from the outside looking in, just because it's not something that most of us in our generation sort of grew up seeing or like learned by osmosis just by watching other people do it. And so it can feel really foreign and difficult, but like just get in there and try it out. And like, it's really not, it's a lot more forgiving than
and the longer you do it, the more comfortable you get with it.
Yeah.
You have a lot more wiggle room than I originally thought.
For sure. Yeah. But it's interesting you say that about using the sourdough discard to make the little the pizza bagel snack bites, because it just goes back to what we were speaking about earlier, where these things are kind of holistic. And once you start doing one, it feeds into the next thing, just the same way that when you start looking at herbs and medicinal ingredients, you're like, oh, and then I could add this, and then those are going to work together synergistically, and those are going to amplify the benefits. It's the same thing with all of these sort of lifestyle choices. That's why I like to envision it as a basket, because then I'm like, okay, I can like visualize it in my brain of like these kind of couple of things are going to work really well together if I get those going at the same time. You
Yeah.
know?
No, I get it. That makes a lot of sense. Speaking of like your little like herb garden or whatever you said there, my brain went to herb garden when you talked about herbs. I wanted to make a herb garden this year so bad. I started so many seeds to have them. None of them took. And my greenhouse is pretty much dead. I just sit on the couch and look at it. Yeah. I don't know what I did. Yeah, I have better luck outside. Once my plants get outside, and if I start them from seed, I have a green thumb and I very rarely kill anything, but I've never really had success with starting plants indoors. I don't know what I do wrong, if it's like I don't have the patience or the attention span to keep up with them, because I can keep a houseplant alive. My houseplants are thriving. But
I'll say that
most
of the time when people have most of the time when people have germination issues, it's underwatering or sporadic watering. Like the seed is just, especially, you know, if you water it really well, you're really consistent for the first like week, that seed begins to germinate and it sends out the first little white bit that you see.
Yeah.
It's like, it's germinated, it's good. But then maybe in week 2, the watering tapers off. You're done. The seed won't survive because it needs to really be consistently moist.
All my stuff germinated. Well, not all, but a lot of my stuff germinated. And the stuff that did germinate, it's like stunted. I've been nursing this greenhouse for 3 months and I still have little specks of plants. They're just
I'm gonna come look. We're gonna troubleshoot because I'm just really. But you've activated my tism again. Yeah, for sure. I'm like, what kind of soil are you using? Anyways, I'm gonna come see. We'll come look. But I have so many herbs that I can share with you. I have way too many herbs. Well, there's no such thing as too many herbs. Let's be real. But I have a lot, so I will definitely divide and split with you. And I also planted some cool ones for you. Actually, specifically, I got some, what is it called? Like Korean licorice.
How did you get seeds for that? In your little seed trunk?
I have a seed collection. It's from my seed collection. Oh my God. It's from my vault of weird seeds. But it's supposed to be great. It's used for tea and it has antibacterial and antioxidant properties. Ooh. And it tastes like, you know, like sweet licorice and mint. So it makes a really nice tea, apparently. I've never eaten it before or had tea from it, but it sounded really great.
It's right up my alley. The whole reason
why I was like,
this herb garden was to use for all of my little home apothecary creations.
Yes.
I had calendula started. I
have so much calendula, girl. You're going to be swimming in calendula. I meant to tell you that earlier. But yeah, for all of your balms and salves and stuff, and I also have, you can buy calendula that's more decorative, but you can buy calendula that's bred to be more medicinal. And so I have the like high resin calendula for you.
Ooh, you're the bomb, you know that?
Yeah, so don't worry about your herb situation. I have so much rosemary and basil. I have all the different types of basil.
You're talking dirty to me
basil,
now.
Tulsi basil.
Tulsi basil is like the best for like lowering your cortisol and like healing your nervous system.
Yes, so I've got that for you. Obviously, so much Genovese basil, which is just delicious.
Yeah.
For pesto. I can't think of what else, but yeah, we've got a lot of things going.
Oh, you're the best.
Yay.
That's so exciting. Oh, that just made my night. I'm so happy.
Yay. Oh, the other one I planted, which I've never grown before, was shiso.
What is shiso?
Which, shiso, sounds like the beginning of seashells. Shiso, seashells. But it's shiso, and it is also in the mint family, and it's from Japan. But it's more of like a culinary herb, but I'll share it with you. It's really delicious.
Oh, I'm so excited.
But you can also make it you can use it in teas or like in your pickling and stuff. It's a flavoring kind of herb. Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting.
We're gonna have good gardens.
Yes, we are. Did I tell you I got a bunch of my cold crops in the ground already?
You did. I think you texted me that and I was in the thick of it and I don't think I responded.
That's okay.
Yeah, like you got your lettuce.
Yeah, I got
started,
lettuce,
did you say?
spinach, beets, turnips, carrots, peas.
What kind of turnips did you plant?
The white and red ones.
Regular ones?
Yeah.
The white and red ones,
Yeah,
like the big
The
ones.
big ones.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah. I was like, I don't
Cool,
remember,
cool.
but I can remember what the package looks like.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Mhm.
What kind of beets?
Dark Detroit something?
Detroit, yeah.
Yeah.
Classic. They have a really nice top as well. You can eat the greens. They make a really nice
Yeah.
top and a root, so it's multi-purpose. I love that. I grow that one as well. Detroit dark red.
I was like dark Detroit. No, that doesn't sound right. Mm.
Awesome. I haven't started any of those things yet because I've just been,
Do you still have?
oh my Lord.
Yeah.
I have my tomato and pepper explosion in my kitchen. It's getting serious.
I need to come and see them.
I have, yeah, you should. I have a lot of shishito peppers because that's like my favorite kind of pepper, but it's too many. And two of them they just set flower buds.
Oh.
Yesterday, I noticed. And I'm like, y'all need to chill because we're not going outside for another 5 weeks.
Yeah, you're gonna have peppers
Yeah.
indoors.
Well, those two.
That's okay.
Yeah. I'm going to be like hand pollinating them.
We need to have a canning day this summer.
Oh, definitely. Which that's the other thing. It's like I am definitely lacking in my food preservation knowledge and skills. Where I'll grow like this massive garden, and then I'm at the end of the summer, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, what do we do with all this food? Like, I don't.
I'm pretty good with water bath canning. I'm really scared of pressure canning. I've never tried it.
I'm scared of all canning, if I'm
Really?
being completely
Why?
honest with you. I still feel like I feel like I'm gonna do it wrong and like food
Oh, no,
poison
no, no.
myself. It just makes me nervous. I know. It's
Okay,
just a
rule
mindset
1 for
thing.
canning. When in doubt, throw it out.
Yeah.
If it smells funny, it looks funny, it has a weird layer.
But that's the scary thing. No, because botulism is like odorless, colorless, like you won't know. It's just like bam. Kills you.
Oh my god.
That's why it scares me. I'm scared.
That's fair. Okay,
I'm
I get where you're
scared.
coming from. But okay,
Yeah.
this is just like we talked about with the fermenting and the sourdough and everything.
I know.
We're over-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Once you get in there, you just need to
Yes.
get in the door
Yeah.
and start doing it and start learning and just hope and pray that you don't food poison yourself.
Exactly.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure it's fine. It's an incredibly low and rare, probability
It
of
is.
that actually happening. Hmm. And don't do anything dumb. Like, don't be I'm not going to be out here trying to can
Milk.
meats, milk.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. Do people do that?
Yes.
I hope not. Well, I guess there's like canned milk in the store, but it's not just pure milk. It'll be like,
And you can
condensed
can
milk.
meat, 100% you can, but it needs to be pressure
I know
canned.
people can meat, but I'm saying I am not going to be starting with that.
No.
I'm going to be starting with like the
Jam,
basics.
salsa,
Yeah.
tomato
I
sauce.
do jam. That's maybe the one thing that I feel comfortable with. Hmm. But even pickles, I've only done like refrigerator pickles,
Really?
not shelf stable. Yeah,
Oh.
because I'm scared.
Oh,
And then I have all these, and then I have like a bajillion cucumbers.
yeah.
Like, it's not good.
Okay, well, we will do some canning this summer.
I know. We need to have a knowledge exchange. I'll
I'd
help
love
you
that.
figure out why your seedlings are all dying,
That would
and
be
then you teach me
amazing.
how to can. Yeah, deal, girl.
deal. Speaking on this holistic natural living vibe that we have going on here,
Hmm.
are you going to do anything for Beltane?
It's been on my radar, but I haven't made any real plans yet, because of life.
Fair,
I've
fair.
been like so stressed out about other things that I really haven't. I haven't made any plans, but I would like to for
I
sure.
think
Have
I'm
you?
going to. Yeah, I got a little day plan. Ideally, I would like to have a bonfire because that's what you're supposed to do on Beltane. It's the fire festival.
Well, we can have one here, provided there's no obviously active burn ban. But I have so much wood, thanks to your brother, and yeah, we can totally do that over here. That'd be great.
Ooh, that'd be so cool. Have a little bonfire
Mhm.
and then throw like our intentions into the fire, what we
Yes.
want to cultivate through the season.
Perfect.
Cozy up with some tea.
Yay, that actually sounds really nice. Let's do that.
I like that idea.
Perfect. Okay, well, on that note, I think I need to go feed Gladys, the sourdough starter. I feel like I need to rename her. She's like the daughter of Gladys. Yours is Gladys. Mine is like Gladys' daughter.
The daughter of Gladys is Lola.
So your grandma's really named Gladys?
I named my sourdough starter after my grandma.
And then so meaning your mom
Yes.
is Lola?
Yep.
So my sourdough starter is Lola. Well, that's that. That's settled. That's done.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta go feed her anyways. And then it's 11:11. This is the perfect time
Ooh, make a wish.
to sign off here. But thanks so much for like talking about all this stuff, as always.
Oh, I love having these conversations with you.
Same. Everybody listening, just take care of yourselves, y'all, and don't stress yourselves out over any of this stuff, because ultimately it's gonna be all right. It's all gonna work out. It's all gonna come out in the wash.
Just take it day by day and do what resonates with you.
All right, everybody. We're gonna say bye for now.
Okay.
Bye. Whatever season you're in, we're glad you're here. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like, subscribe, and share with a friend. Your support really helps us grow the podcast. Thanks, and see you next week. Love you.